Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and today I am in Hyde Park in London, in Watch Dogs Legion obviously. You can see all the trees in the background and very attractive statue there. I should know who that is, but I don't. It's obviously some mythical kind of thing. It's not a British figure from culture. I don't think they had wings even back in the day. It looks autumny because of the trees. I think it's always autumn in Watch Dogs Legion. I've never seen it snow. And I've always tried to work out from the times, but I've never managed to do this, whether the time changes and whether it gets darker earlier or lighter, but I think it always looks like it's autumn because of how the trees always look. Anyway, today's video is about the price increase of PlayStation consoles, PlayStation 5. And it's going up by £90 in the UK, by $100+ in America, and adjust for your own currency wherever you are, but by a lot. And it's bad. I'll give you two reasons why it's bad. And the first is because when you think about this, a PlayStation console retailed in the UK for maybe £400 to £500 before, depending on a discount. You can probably find one on Amazon occasionally for 400-ish. So it's going up by a quarter of the value. So think about that, a quarter of the value it's risen by. And this is, again, this is something that's been out for years. It's not a new thing that's suddenly been released and they've decided, oh, we've got the wrong pricing. This is something that's been out for years, and it's going up by a quarter of the price. And when you think about it, there's no other item. Let's talk about electrical items because that's what it's comparable to. So there's no other electrical item, whether it's a phone, whether it's a computer, whether it's a TV, whatever it might be, that goes up after being released for so long. Even after 6 months, phones, computers, TVs, they drop in price. They don't go up. So there's no justification, because a PlayStation is just something physically made of the same things as any other electrical item. It's not made of something different, despite what I might have said in another video. So yeah, it's ridiculous, because how would you justify that? And I know PlayStation have come out with nonsense about it was inevitable. Why was it inevitable? It's inevitable because it's an electrical item, and no other electrical items ever go up like that after being released for so long. It's just crazy. And that links into the second kind of more disturbing and disgusting part of it, which is obviously gamers don't have endless money, and that's one of the things in gaming, where gaming companies, and we know this anyway, whether they're the big ones or the little ones, gaming producers, people who make games, people who develop them, people who make the consoles, they're greedy. They're all greedy. Whether they put up the price of games, they put up the price of consoles, whether they put up the price of PS subscriptions, whether they put up the price of all their DLCs, whether they put in scam things in games to make you buy DLCs, whether there's content that should be in games and they're not, you've got to pay separately. It doesn't matter, we can go through a list, but they're the greediest people in all consumerism, as far as I can see. There's no comparison. And they're putting up prices of games. They already did that, and now they're putting up the price of the consoles. And it will be bad enough if it was because, you know, Sony and all their related companies had made fantastic games and put loads of effort into games that were really well received and well loved, and they put loads of effort in, and now they were struggling. But that's not the case. They've put effort into games that were made by or decided by executives at Sony and their subsidiaries, where basically they were woke, or they were live service that nobody wanted, or they were broken games, or reboots, and all the rubbish that nobody cares about and nobody wants. And they've wasted tons of money on that. We know that. That's not a question. We know that. And they're trying to claw the money back, obviously. That's why games have gone up a bit. That's why consoles have gone up. If all the games they'd released that were rubbish and woke and live service that nobody wanted and broken had been massive successes, they wouldn't be doing this, I'm sure of that. But it's because they've lost lots of money, and they've lost money making games that they knew nobody wanted to try and fill their own pockets, and now because they didn't work, they're charging it back to us. And that is just disgraceful and disgusting. It would be disgusting anyway, because £100, £90 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money for me, it's a lot of money for, I'm sure, most of you guys, and people can't afford that. And, you know, I haven't got a PlayStation 5. If I was going to get one, and I had thought about it often, more because there's a few games that I'd like on there, and I'd like the DLCs for Cyberpunk, for example, I would think twice now, not relating to whether I can afford it or my circumstance necessarily, but because I think, do I really want to give Sony an extra £100 of my money when I could just play games on PC and Steam. And to be honest, I play more games on Steam now. I've been doing that for the last year or two. And you know, why wouldn't I just upgrade my laptop? And I've got a pretty good one anyway, but why wouldn't I just upgrade my laptop so I could play every single game on Steam on that, where there's no charge for being online if you want to play an online game, and where, you know, there's always more discounts, and where they're not trying to rip you off all the time. So yeah, I think it's very bad. Obviously, you know, people who've got tons of money, it won't make any difference to them, and they won't care, because people never care about things that don't affect them usually. But this is going to affect more people than it's not who are PlayStation things, and it's going to affect kids. You know, the sad thing is that, you know, there's going to be kids and, you know, these people who are on budgets, serious budgets. They might have been thinking to buy their kids a PlayStation 5, and either because they're annoyed with the price rise, if they understand, you know, what's happening, or because it's just gone up and they can't afford it, their kids won't be getting one, and that's a future gamer that won't be involved in gaming. Maybe that kid will go off and do something else. Maybe they'll get an Xbox, maybe they'll go out and do something in the world and play football or something, but they may never get into gaming. So it's a bigger thing than just this. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching Guessagaingaming from Automy, London. Till next time, take care for now.